Okay, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us to this TED session. My name is Emiliano Schiavone. I'm from CodigoDelSur. I'm a software engineer here. And well, as you know, CodigoDelSur is a software factory with experience on mobile application, web application, and also for on the drone development. We build some solution for agriculture, construction, and flight control. Today, we are going to talk about the Cloud API, that is a platform for DJI. So the agenda for today is talk about an introduction about what is Cloud API, the DJI company, also to know what are the feature set that this Cloud API has and how it is work. Then we are going to talk about the support devices, the devices that we can use for Cloud API, how is the interaction with Cloud API, and some use cases that we have. And at the last part of this session, we are going to show you an example that we build and we play around regarding Cloud API. We did a website with some features, so you can see how everything is work on that example. Okay, so start just the Cloud API was created by DJI. DJI is a drone company, is the #1 on drone manufacture with focus on media production, enterprise, and agriculture. They build drones, also cameras, and a lot of devices for this industry. And in this case, well, as you know, DJI also implemented the SDK that you can build a mobile application to interact with some aircraft. In this case, they introduced the Cloud API, that the Cloud API is a cloud platform for enterprises drones. In this case, the Cloud API focus on enterprise drones and not in another kind of drones like for agriculture or the one that you can have in your home. And as you know, Cloud API helps companies and users to create a custom system for drone management. So in this case, with using Cloud API, you can build a solution for any, some problem that you had and you want to get a solution using drones. And in this case, you can also have a platform to do that. To talk about what we can do with this Cloud API, well, the feature that we have to do is like map element. I mean, we have a map, we can add some element from the map to know some location or something that we will use in the future. Then we have media management. So the drone can take photos, videos, so we can get that data and process or do something. Also, we can have live streaming, so we can see the drone camera in real time. Then more related with flight, we can have waypoints on flying route. I mean, you can select a route to do, and the drone will do it. Then we have the device information, status and log. I mean, we can get all the information that the drone has, or the status, like batteries, I mean, where is the drone, and that stuff. And also we can get a report about the flight that we did, the media with the photos that we take photos, or that stuff. So just to talk about, and if anyone knows about the SDK from DJI to develop, without Cloud API, if you want to implement a website for reporting, for example, in this case, you will have to get a mobile app that you need to build using the SDK. So you have to take acknowledgement about the SDK, how it works, and implement a mobile solution for that. Then you are going to have a backend where your mobile will be connected with that, and then a front end that in this case is a website that we want that consumes all the backend information that we want to process. So the interaction is the drone with the mobile app with the backend, and the backend with the front end. If with this new solution that we have, the Cloud API, we can do like this. We can have the drone that communicate with the backend, and then just a front end to consume the data that we need. In this case, you can see that the mobile application is not near here. So that is one of the advantages that Cloud API has. So it's a good thing. And then how it works. This test session is not going to be too technical. We are going to do an overview about this Cloud API and the concept. So in this case, to have the Cloud API working on your solution, your drone needs to have a remote controller that we need to have like application called DJI Pilot 2. That is the application that can communicate with Cloud API. Also, we have the dock that allows us to use Cloud API. And to know how this Cloud API works, well, for that solution that we have Pilot 2 is that Pilot 2 has the ability to work with MQTT, HTTP, and WebSocket. That is the most way that Cloud API works. I mean, the Cloud API emits an event that then with your backend can receive that event and process it. So that is the communication that you have to communicate that drone with your system. One of the advantage of this is that you can communicate multiple drones with one solution. So the next is support devices. So the Cloud API is not for all devices. As I mentioned, it's for enterprises drones. So here we can see a couple of drones that works with Cloud API. That we have the M30 series that is at the left. Then at the bottom we have M300 Earth key. And then the new one that we can use is maybe free. And also we have the dock that is more like a box, or is something new also on the DJI side that allows you to use Cloud API. In this case, well, this is kind of the diagram how it works, the Cloud API, and how is the communication and the interaction between the drones, the Cloud API, and the user, and the final user. In this case, we have kind of the supported devices like M30 and the dock, for example. Also, as I mentioned, you have the remote controller there that emit some of events that are by HTTPS, WebSocket, or MQTT, that on your backend you can observe that event. It's kind of similar to Internet of Things, that you get events, so that is kind of the standard protocol that they have. So your backend can get all that information that comes from the remote controller or from the dock, and then process that to send some information to a web application or a mobile application. So in this case, one of the goals of the Cloud API is that the developer doesn't have to be knowledgeable about the hardware of the drone. They have only to get the event that the remote controller sends. When the drone moves, when the drone take a photo, they will emit some event that you can get. So one of the user cases that you can implement using this Cloud API is kind of related with the feature set that I mentioned before. You have, for example, you can create a web application or some system to get a report about the drone information, or something that you want to take about the flights or something like that. Also, you can get map information. You can add some marker polygons to a map, and then get that information stored. Then, related with the map, the media management and processing, images and videos, you can take photos from some specific places. Then you can upload that images to a web backend, and then process that data to know what happened on that place. I don't know, in cases of agriculture, we can get how is the seed there, how are the plants, and that stuff. We can do a lot of things processing that images. Well, then we have the drone information in real time. I mean, we can know where is the drone in real time, the location, how is the battery, how are the sensor, or if there is some status that is wrong or whatever. And well, also we can create a flight mission. I mean, we can create a route and assign to a drone. I mean, if you want that drone goes to some position to another position, we can select that and then assign a drone to do that mission. In some cases, flying by the manual sticky, we can get that information and send to the backend to know where was the drone and what was the route that a drone did. So right now I'm going to show you an example, a website that we have been playing around on CodigoDelSur with a couple of features that it has. This example was done with M300, added with a camera Zeta 330. So we did a couple of proof of concept of that. So the feature that we have on that example, there are we are going to display an overview about all the website using Cloud API. Then we are going to focus on the location in real time. We are going to see what is the drone in real time. Then we can add some map elements that we can storage, and then if we want to do something like a route or a flight mission, we can take that point or map element and do something. We are going to see how we can take a photo and then download from the web. There is gonna be a easy example of that, but then you can improve that. Also the live streaming, we are going to display how you can see the camera of the drone in real time. We can create waypoints, as I mentioned, to after create a route, and then all the drone information that we can get. So I'm going to stop sharing here. I'm going to share a video that has all these examples. Well, to start, as I mentioned, we are going to do overview about all the websites that we have. So in this case, we are going to start with, the first tab that you can see a map. This is a satellite view. We have some market that we can add here. Also at the left, you can see the online devices. In this case is the Matrix 300, as I mentioned. So you can see all the status there, and well, we can add more information. So in this case, we are going to do a polygon just to get it and store that map element. Okay, then we are going to show you how it works, the live streaming. But just there are different protocols to do live streaming. In this case, if you have multiple drones, you can select the drone you want to do it. And you can select the camera, for example. After, we are going to show how that works. Then the annotation that, as I mentioned, we can storage all maps element that we want to use in the future, or just get it stored to do something. Here there is a section related with the media management. In this case, it's an easy example, a list, but you can add a preview or whatever you want. In this case, you can create waypoints. A route that you want to do after. So you can see here where are the waypoints that we created. You can download also to send to another one. And in this case, you can create a plan. You can get the waypoint that you want, assigned to a drone, and then after you can execute that when you want. Also, you can have multiple users in your system that you can assign a user to some drone. So if you have multiple users that are flying some drone and you have to have different permission for each one, you can do that because we have like a user management here. Also, if you have multiple devices, you can see it here with the information. And now, to be more specific with each feature, we are going to show you a little more better example. In this case, it's going to be a real time that we use. You can see the position in real time for a drone. In this case, we was simulating the drone, but you can see at the left how works the simulation. And on the map, you can see the market that will be moved in real time regarding the simulation that we created. Then the map elements. In this case, at the left, we have an emulator regarding the remote controller. So that is what you see on the remote controller. And on the left, on the right, is the website. If you see, there are some markers, and the markers are synchronized between the remote controller and your website. So in this case, we are going to add a new point, and you will see that at the same time will we see on both platforms. So in this case, we was adding a point from the remote controller. So if you see at the right, we create a new one, the pilot 6. So there is a synchronization between the remote controller, the drone, and the website for sure. So then, for example, you can create a waypoint regarding the remote controller. We have 3 points and we want to do like a route. So we do that. Then we can upload that to the website, to the server that we host this Cloud API. So at that point, you can see the new waypoint that we created from the remote controller here on the website. So if you want to create routes from the remote controller using the drone, you can do that. You can upload it, and then we will see it here on the website if you want after to do like a flight mission or something like that. Regarding the media management, we took a photo on the drone with the remote controller that will be auto uploaded to the server that we can see after that we reload the web page. And you can see the image. In this case, we was using Amazon Web Services to storage free to get like a packet to storage these images. And the last feature that we have is the live streaming. As you can see on the left, we have the drone camera, and on the right, we have what we are getting from the streaming. And that's it, the example. I mean, it's kind of a lot of things that you can do with this. And I'm going to share the last part of this presentation. Okay, that's it for the presentation. Thank you very much for being here. There is a section for questions. If you have any question that you can write here on the channel and we can answer.
Yeah, everyone feel free. Thank you, Emiliano, first of all. And everyone feel free to leave your questions in the Q&A box so we can answer some of those. So here it says, which cameras can I attach on the drone?
Yes, depends on the drones, but for example, in some drones like M30 and maybe 3, they already have a camera. In your case that we was using the Matrix 300, you can add, for example, the H20, the H20 thermical, the Zeta 30, depends what are the capabilities that you want to do. But yeah, you can see, attach a lot of them.
Okay. Which cameras are available for M300?
Yes, in this case, as I mentioned before, we have like the H20 thermical, and the Zeta 30. So that are you can add to the M30.
Okay. Can I implement an iOS app and connect it with Cloud API, or it's mostly for web apps via browser?
Okay, good question. Yeah, in this session, I mentioned example regarding create a website, but in another case, you can create a mobile app, for example, for iOS, on Android also. The idea to that mobile app is to get the information from the backend, so you don't need to do any SDK stuff. It's just communicate with the backend to get that information.
Okay, then it says, does the Cloud API support 3T30 drones?
No, at this point, no. But related with your question, that the idea of Cloud APIs have to a compatibility with new devices. So in the future, if DJI creates a new drones, they will try to have the ability to use Cloud API, so you don't have to do anything new on your code. You will get the same event that you are getting, and with that, you don't have to do anything new about that. So it's a good advantage regarding compatibility with new devices.
Okay, then it says Cloud API is available for DJI servers or can install on our servers.
Yeah, you can install on your server. I mean, you will be creating a solution that you have to host in wherever you want. And the example that I show you, we was hosting in my local machine, for example. So you can host it in wherever you want.
Is there any way to make the Matrix 300 RTK batteries last longer?
Well, I'm not sure about that. I'm not from the team that built that, so I'm not sure that.
Okay, we have one last question. It says, where can I store the images?
Well, in this case, we store it on Amazon Web Services, but you can do it in any other storage server. I mean, because you will get the image and then you will do whatever you want with that image. So you can do it wherever you want.
Okay, great. I think that's all the questions we have. So I don't know if anyone else wants to ask something. But thank you, Emiliano, so much for the presentation, and thank you everyone that was here. We will send you the recording to your email, so you can rewatch it or send it to anyone you want. So yeah, just thank you everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks, guys. See you.